Hello. Welcome to Coffee, Crochet, and Unsolved Murder. I'm your host, Stacy, and today we are going to crochet while we discuss unsolved murders that have happened in the United States over the years. I'm going to delve into different cases over time, and each one it takes place, it could be early 1900s to current. So we're going to start off with a very sad story. They're all sad stories, but this one involves a child. And, I don't really like doing things that involve children, but you know what? It's an unsolved murder. And hopefully one day they may never find, I'm sure they'll never find the people who did it, but maybe there can be some closure. And it would be wonderful if that were ever to happen. But let's get started with episode 1. What happened to little Buddy? Grab your crochet hook, grab your coffee, and let's get into it, shall we? This is a story of Arthur Buddy Schumacher Jr. He was 8 years old. And he went by Buddy. He was from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. And if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Buddy went missing July 24th of 1925. And his body was found September 12th of 1925. Buddy had not just been murdered. Okay, let's get that out there right now. Buddy wasn't just murdered, he was mutilated. This 8-year-old little boy. He was sexually assaulted. He was suffocated. And they mutilated his poor little body. Now, if those of you who are not familiar, as am I, about where Wauwatosa, Wisconsin is, it is west of Milwaukee. Buddy's family was Father Art, Mother Florence, and Sister Jeanette. Jeanette was the older of the two siblings. This is the story how it went. Buddy went with friends to a local watering hole. Hopped a freight train to get there. Yes, 8 years old, hopping a freight train to get to a watering hole. 3 companions saw him hop off the train with the others. But that was the last time they saw him alive. Now, Buddy was Buddy Jr., okay, because his name was Arthur Schumacher, and his father was Arthur Schumacher. So Buddy Jr. Was alive when they saw him hop off the train. Nobody saw him alive after that. Search party was formed when Buddy didn't come home. Buddy didn't come home, but we will get into where his friends were. Maybe. Buddy didn't come home. They get a search party going. Authorities and locals searched everywhere, found nothing. I mean, you hop the train at one point, you hop off the train, and you go to the watering hole, and you disappear. And they have a search party. No trace of Buddy. For 7 weeks. 7 weeks later, Buddy's decomposed body was found. There was evidence of mutilation, sexual abuse, but the actual cause of death was suffocation. And we could only hope that the mutilation happened after death. I didn't find anything that said that, but they did find a handkerchief shoved deep into Buddy's throat. So somebody suffocated that little boy. And it, you know, here's my theory. My theory is they shoved that in him to shut him up while he was sexually assaulted, and it ended up killing him because it shoved it too deep. That's what I can think of. Local and state media followed the case. They even printed pictures of Buddy's casket leaving the Schumacher home. They did not leave anybody the hell alone. Okay. To this day, reporters are still the same. You got to get the story. I get that. But they had to print pictures of his casket being taken out of his home. With all the media attention, no suspects were found, even though police followed all leads and confessions by 2 mentally challenged men that the police didn't believe them. So 2 mentally challenged men come forward, claim to have done it, I'm sure at separate times. Police say, we don't believe you. Why they didn't believe him, I don't know. But they did not believe him. The only real evidence they had was the handkerchief that was in Buddy's throat. Cue police investigation. Okay, 1924. The one key piece of evidence in this case went missing. They lost the damn handkerchief. Okay. So the DA's office had the handkerchief. Then they didn't have the handkerchief. So what are we going to do? At one point, witnesses accused a drifter who had also said, I did it. Then he recanted. Mind you, even if they had the handkerchief, could they have tied it to the person that actually committed the crime? Don't know, because I'm sure back in the day, every man carried a handkerchief in their pocket, even kids. The Schumachers didn't really speak about Buddy's murder. They kind of stayed to themselves. You know, what were they going to do? They were devastated, as anybody would be. And eventually they moved away. 2 years after little Buddy was murdered, they moved out of the home. Subsequently, the Hoffmans moved into the home, and Paul Hoffman became interested in the story of Buddy, and he would hear the story of little Buddy. And he became so interested in it that he decided to write a book. And the neighbor that he was, that really got him interested in this, said that she knew. Her name was Lillian Harwood, and she said that she knew who killed Buddy. Did she really? She claimed it happened near Menominee. Again, if I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry. She claimed it happened near Menominee River around Hoyt Park, and that police knew who did it. Of course, Lillian Harwood was never taken seriously. Because she had erratic behavior. They said she was erratic, don't believe her, she's just somebody who's you know, she's just spewing tales. Later on, it was found that some of her information was actually true. As Paul Hoffman got older, he became even more interested in the case. Because when they moved into the home, he was a young boy, but as he got older, he became more interested in the case at a different level, and he delved more into it. And he even interviewed Jeanette Schumacher, Buddy's sister, and her children, Buddy's nephews. And there was a lot of, they never found who did it. They never did get clear evidence. And what clear evidence they had, they lost. Paul Hoffman came to a conclusion, though. His own, mind you. But he never disclosed his findings, as there was no way to prove it. He stated, and this is from his words, that his is an educated guess based on facts presented. Plus, it would be too late to bring justice for Buddy. Let's talk about it. Okay. So I'm going to bring you cases, and we're going to have a discussion. And I would love in the comments for you guys to give me your take. I try to get as much information as I can, and I have ordered the book that Paul Hoffman wrote. I just haven't got it yet. But I will, on a later episode, I may delve back into the case of little Buddy. But right now, let's discuss. So he's with there's three friends. Okay. Why didn't his friends say anything? Why didn't his friends that he was with, did they leave him? I mean, did they decide to leave and he didn't want to go, so he stayed? Did something happen with the friends? Did the friends see anything? Did the friends see anybody? Did anybody even talk to the friends? Other than, have you seen Buddy? No? Okay, we're going to get a search party. Let's go. That bothers me. Now, I know they were probably around his age. I never, again, when I get the book and we'll see what information Paul Hoffman has, but what did his friends ever say? Whatever happened with that? He got on the train, got off the train. Did they make it to the watering hole? Did he say, hey, fellas, I got to go back, I left something? Or did he go off in a different direction? Or what? He was with friends. Where were the friends? And again, I know this was 1924. Okay? 1925. So, right before 4th of July. If these kids are hopping a train, I'm sure there were, and I don't mean this in any bad way, but because this is what they were called. They were called hobos. They rode the rails. Okay? Could somebody have followed them off the train? And it's sad that, when you think about it, because there's no DNA evidence. There was no CODIS. There was no, from what I found, the only evidence they had was the damn handkerchief that they lost. And they're not listening to people who might have information, because guess what? They have erratic behavior. I get people have erratic behavior. I get that. But sometimes there's lucidity in what they're saying. Sometimes there's, they might be erratic, but something that they said could actually have meaning. And that's what Paul Hoffman found. And I'm not sure if the police found out, but some of what she said was actually accurate. So that makes me wonder, would they have, once they found out that it was accurate, would they have actually went back and listened to what she said and taken some of that and maybe have gotten information, or maybe have found something out? It's 2026. Almost. Getting close to July 2nd. It has been so many years. And that family will never have closure. They'll never know. And I'm sure that the whole family, the Schumacher family, little Buddy's family, I'm sure they all know. And it's probably something that they may not want to talk about. And I get that. I do. I honestly get that. You go through a horrible thing that happens to a child. But the saddest part is that family never got closure. That little boy suffered immeasurably. He never got closure. And at this point, whoever did it's dead and gone. So there's nothing to come of it. But that's the sad part. And that's why I've chosen on this podcast to really take a look at the older cases. The cases that have no end. And you think about it like that, because there is no end to that. There's nobody convicted, there's nobody tried, there's nobody or even arrested, at this point. And it's sad that poor Buddy went through all that, his family went through all that, became a media circus back in 1925, and nothing ever came of it. And it's really, you would think that the criminals now need to learn from the criminals then. They kept their mouth shut. Now everybody starts talking. It's all over the internet. Let's post a video of somebody murdering somebody on camera. Case closed. They didn't have that back then. And they kept their mouth shut. And if they did talk, apparently they talked to people like poor Miss Lillian Harwood, who probably was considered the crazy lady. But there was some truth to what she said. And that is the story of little Buddy Schumacher. For those of you who are interested in the book, I got my info from thelineup.com, and the book by Paul Hoffman is called Murder in Wauwatosa. I, again, have ordered the book as soon as it arrives and I have gotten it read. I will try to do a follow-up to give you guys more information. How is your crochet going? Did you drink your coffee? I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day or night or whatever. And hey, tell your friends about me. I'm going to be posting more videos, and we're going to delve into more unsolved mysteries while we crochet and drink our coffee. Thank you for watching. See you soon.